talk about highest timeline today. Oh my gosh, things are feeling very exciting. I'm going to say this is Celeste. Very exciting, very exciting. For somebody that has been had a lifetime of veils and veils and people sucking the life out of me. I'm very excited that the past couple of days I've felt lighter and lighter and lighter. Spirit has been releasing the cords of those that have been hanging on for dear life to try and have me come back into their stories and so on. And we've talked about that before on many of our experiences, that there's been kind of a last minute thing, and those that didn't really understand Ascension, didn't really believe in Ascension, didn't really care to understand Ascension, we're now finding that all that we've been helping to help humanity with as far as higher vibrational, what's going on with my hair there? It's not isn't curling where I need it to. With the ascension that happens in the omnipresent light that's bathed on every single dimension. And dimension is just a bandwidth of information and vibration, but within that dimension, there's a thing called the bandwidth. And the bandwidth means that 3D is very, very dense. So 3D is a very large bandwidth, and bit by bit, those little bandwidth threads get pulled out because they can no longer sustain the information or the vibration in that base minimum, because every cycle of ascension, the core vibration of Gaia is moving up. And so the core vibration of Gaia is moving up, so too is the collective. So the collective energy is moving up, Gaia's energy is moving up. So at everybody's point, hi sweetheart, at the point of our ascension on every day, we have to maintain, what are we doing for our vibration? So today we're going to focus on, because we do have a bit shorter of a class today, so what we want to focus on, what things are you doing to keep it in your vibration every day that you're absolutely responsible and accountable for how you feel, for how your body feels, how is your body processing the light. We are responsible for every turn and every cycle, which is every new day. Every new day you're responsible for dealing with the triggers, facing what is in front of you, and understanding that we are going to be continuing on this path of ascension. This is the Divine Father's plan. There is no going back to the way things were. There will never be a going back. As we've been feeling that because there has been a timeline on people paying, those of us that have been abused in the collective back, those of us that will pay and play those roles of divine human files of exploration, which means that we're going to open our life files up for those because we've been held as sacrifice to the various levels of abuses that we've been held in. And so as we're being placed on the table for all of humanity to view, if you will, whether it be human rights abuses, divine feminine, trafficking, all of these different types of abuses, discrimination that we've been dealing with, our stories will be on the table for everybody to view, for everybody to then deeper awaken. But those of us that have been in those stories, it's up to us to now move forward, because we are the momentum, we are the ones carrying a lot of the energy and the weight, because we've done a lot of our healing. We understand the process of ascension, we understand the infinity. We've been the ones pulling the collective through. And there really must be a wealth transfer, because we can't have the people that are meant to keep pulling humanity forward. Evolution is all about that cascading experience. You have guides that are ahead of you that cascade light down to you, that cascade higher information, that cascade downloads, that cascade light codes, because your teams above you in the higher dimensions, they understand, in the higher dimensions, they understand what it is you need. They understand your soul's blueprint. They understand the themes that you're going to be working on, the councils and the teams that you're helping and assisting. They know all of that. They're in the higher dimensions. So they're cascading you all of these energies. We on the front lines, if you will, are cascading those to the collective that are behind us, if you will, that are just awakening. There is still that process of ascension every day to take account and take responsibility for your path, and to choose with intention of your heart, mind, body, and soul to be fully harmonized within the center of who you are, because we always talk about this is the pillar of light. The pillar of light is how your chakras rotate around that pillar of light. Your chakras are fed the light that you allow to come and then spiral around. Your chakras spiral around like this, and you'll actually feel them. You'll actually feel your chakras. Once you start tuning into your body and you start paying attention to meditating, you can feel, and you're sending that root chakra light, you can actually feel your root chakra rotate, and it's actually quite lovely. And so when you get tuned into your body, you can start feeling all of your aspects of your multidimensionality start properly harmonizing with itself. And how people feel so kind of out of balance is because their fields are out of balance. Their fields are holding a lot of information and projections that they're not clearing, that's not theirs. There's just a lot of noise being sent them, especially if they're in the public. So if you're not doing proper clearing at least twice a day, if you're not doing protection and light work with your light every day, the Alliance with Light, which is the name of my 4th book, and as soon as I get a computer and a laptop, I'm going to be finishing off that book and getting it loaded. So why people feel chaotic is because there's so much noise in their field, a lot of magic and things being put in their field. They're not clearing out. They're not working with their teams to clear that out. They're not working within their macabre and their inner, who they are with their higher self, and having their higher self and their teams help align them in a balanced, centered, and grounding. All of those things that we work on in my classes and in what I offer, it allows you to feel either stable or not stable, honored and harmonious, or chaotic and disgruntled. You know, those are the differences, and you're responsible for your light. Because as I said, the circular movement of Gaia and I want to get this is what they're showing me, right? The triad of the universe is these very lower timelines are being pulled out because they haven't shown creator, they're making right on their deeds to stay in that minimum experience. They're still refusing to heal, they're still refusing to make right, they're still refusing to do what they need to do. Therefore, they're just keeping their energies denser and denser and denser. So those lower vibrational universal energies of that 3rd dimension have to come out. The lowest of the 3rd dimension has to come out so that these energies of the higher universe can start weaving into here, because we're constantly weaving. That's what I see. That's part of what I do as a conduit. That's what I do when I work on the grids. I help weave energy from the higher dimensions into this dimension right here, and I weave to certain places. I focus my energy on certain places. I pierce that light into certain places that are really, really dense. And then the lower vibrations are pulled out, and those experiences where the people that are meant to, that were given so much time, they were given 3 years to pay back, to redeem themselves. To redeem themselves means to alchemize those lower vibrational energies, because you're saying, no, I've made wrong. Sorry that I've done this. How can I make it right to you? How can I come to you and how can I make it right with you? Or pay back the monies, because everybody knows what state I've been in. I'm only giving this, as I said earlier, because this is the story that the collective will be looking at from various perspectives, because my story includes many stories from infinite people in the collective. So that's why I try and pose my story from different perspectives. And so because these collective shadow governments and people that were involved in the transgressions and the suppressions and the discriminations and the misogyny and the various things that were done, most of the criminal offenses and most of abuse of power, most of abuse of technology, most abuse of information, taking my mail and with, warping my mail however it was, anything that was personal, anything that was private to me, anything that was important to me, anything I was supposed to receive, anything that makes me a person, anything that makes me valued, anything that makes me to be given to, was completely stripped and raped from me. They wanted me in as much suffering, they wanted me in as much peril, they wanted me in as much damage and pain and loss and sabotage. They wanted me to be as disconnected with source, as disconnected with any love on any level. They didn't want anybody giving to me. They did numerous cog blocking, anything nice that would come to me, whether it be glamour spells for anybody to see me as, beautiful and gorgeous, which is my own inner feeling, right? I know how beautiful I am and how I feel. But it doesn't matter anything that I presented forward. There was groups and gangs that were plotted, that were told, and they were directed, and they were paid to impale my energy, so that at some point, I would be taking those energies on, and if there's enough people, there's only so much that one person can do, right? There's only so much that one person can do. And apparently Spirit said that there was, did you want to download me that energy information, Spirit? We're just going to do a little bit of channeling because I don't have a lot of time to. We're going to talk about higher timelines, how to align yourself in the higher timelines, tips and hints of how you can get yourself aligned to your highest timeline. So we always give you tips and hints to work with your multidimensional bodies. That's what we talk about, is expanding your consciousness, harmonizing with Source Creator, working with your multidimensional bodies, maintaining and sustaining and enhancing and improving and inspiring your multidimensional bodies and your multidimensional reality, because as you are, it is in of as spirit. And so in all of those experiences that have been given 3 or 4 years to pay back, to provide me with what my universal birthright was, which was the absolute correct information on my birth records, not to be fabricated in any way, and nothing has been provided. There's been no letter of apology. There's been no letter of anything, no letter of accountability, no letter of responsibility, no letter of here's where the money started when you were born in an inheritance or an estate or a wills package, and here's where it is now. And there'll be lots of money that will be siphoned and harvested out because many people were eating off of what was legally mine. They should not have had their hands in. The various parties and the various elites and the various substructures and socio-structures that were involved, the entertainment and the elites within the entertainment business, as well as the entertainment of various aspects of social, church and state, because I guess they find themselves as, the elite within church and state, kind of like movie stars, if you will. That's how they propose themselves. And it's all ego, it's all wounding, because they're absolutely detached from spirit. There was no attachment with spirit whatsoever. There was no breath with spirit. There was no harmonization with spirit. There was no understanding of spirit. There was a complete disconnection of spiritual wisdom, spiritual intelligence as to who we are, because the 3D belief patterns of church and state have been primarily church and religion. You're in a church and there's religions that are taught in churches, and there's practices and there's things you do, as we've given that metaphor of the mall. And in that mall, there's 350 stores and there's 300 different beliefs. And in every store, you're practicing something different. You're wearing something different. There's different things you say. There's different things you do. There's different ways you bow. There's all these different things to learn and explore how to be religious. Being religious is not being spiritual. We have been born spiritual. We are spiritual beings. They're two totally different things. There's been a misunderstanding. There's been misguidances. There's been misinformation. There's been absolute zero knowledge of higher intelligence in light wisdoms, which is who we are, what we exist within, and what exists within us. It's all that we teach. There has been zero knowledge taught to the children about who they are, what they exist within, and what exists within them, and why they go through much confusion, much disorientation, and especially when we're coming up with different categories and substructures of our collective that are also finding their way to investigate and explore various experiences that they have within themselves, like transgender, which we've called translateral, having very fluid ability to move back and forth within their energies of the divine feminine masculine energies. Go look up some of the pictures and images of the axional lines. And you will find out how energy flows through the system and why you have Kundalini, why you have Kumasatra, why you have all of these ancient symbologies of the DNA strand that kind of warps like this. And it's like a little twisting thing, because there is the divine feminine masculine that will never be parted from a divine human body. Whether you come in a divine masculine body or divine feminine body, because this reminds you that you are of both. And it's okay to be of both. And when we get to 5D higher realms of understanding, higher realms of unity, when you've done your healing and you've done your integration and you see that you're just one with the all, you're not going to have discriminations and separations and misogyny and sadomism and masochism, and you're trying to prove people wrong, and you're trying to put people in their place, and you're trying to break a soul, especially if she's divine feminine, coming forward with any ounce of information that is challenging anybody that they feel threatened by, because they've been in their house for so very long. They've been in the box store for so very long. And somebody comes forward with vibrational truth and presents it very easily, very cohesively, not a lot of confusion, no confusion. There's no confusion with source, no confusion. Very simple, all that we say. I'm a very, very simple person. I like my life to be simple. And if there's confusion, the door will be closed. Sorry, bye-bye. Truth is very simple. Who are you? Cut the crap, cut the chaos, cut the confusion. If you're asked a question, it should not take you 30 different answers before you get to what you think the person wants to hear. Then you don't know who you are. You haven't done the healing. You haven't done the work. Go back and do more work. For instance, somebody from your past wants to come back and they want to see what's your timeline like, because you're in a different place. You've built yourself there. You've climbed up through the mud. You barely got yourself to survival after all of their damage and all of their toxicity and all of their plots and plans of death and assassination on your life, after they've stolen and raped from you and stolen your mail and hid information and blasphemed information and defamed information and fraudulated information and fabricated information, and the stories go on and on and on and on. And even if you live on the street, you still wake up with God, very simple. You harmonize with God, very simple. You harmonize with your divine feminine masculine energies, very simple. You are all that you are inside of you. Only you design you, you and God, your breath with God, your breath with source. It's very easy. I know who I am. There's no separating who I am. And they come back and they see, boy, you're really going somewhere. You got clarity about who you are. You're very clear about who you are. I've practiced the dodecahedron. I've practiced what I say, what I offer. I don't just talk the talk, I walk it too. And then they come back and you ask them a question. Where's your life at right now? Who are you? Well, I'm getting on my way, and then I've got Bob and Joe and Billy and Sue and Mary Ellen and this and that, and they're all my friends, but I'm trying to get away from them, but they're still, hanging on because they refuse to let me go, and they're this and they're that, and they're this and they're that, and they're coming along with me. And I said, no, we're not coming along with you. Nobody's coming along with anybody. If you can't tell me who you are, if you cannot tell me what's going on in your life with you and your healing and where you are at with your healing, because you're still tagging along energies that you're responsible for because you have not done the clearing, you have not done the lessons, you have not done the understanding, you have not cognized any level of healing that should take you about 5 years to heal what you're coming from, because I know what you're coming from. You're coming from a lot of disoriented, toxic relationships where you've taken advantage of each other on every level. You've used each other physically, you've used each other mentally, you've used each other psychologically, you've used each other financially, you've used each other sexually, you've used each other mentally. You've used each other on every level. You've used everything around you. You've used the system, you've abused the power, you've abused the state, you've abused the churches, you've abused the people in the churches, you've abused energy, you've abused the Akash, you've abused every spiritual law. And then you come to me and you pretend that you're healed and you want back. I put out a very short video the other day because there was energy in my field and Spirit said, make sure you get these energies and keep clearing them, keep clearing them, keep clearing them. They want back because they know that God will be blessing you. They want to see where you're at. They want back in as if they could. There were over 1,700 hexes and curses and blood work and jar work and voodoo and rituals done on my life. Over 1,700. 1,700, dear lighted ones. Can you count that high? Would you want to sit there and count 1,700 right now? None of you would. Would you want to know what one divine feminine and groups of up to 200 people that took turns betting and bidding and selling and trading in various underground black market web pyramid schemes so that the bookies could be happy, so that the various teams could be happy of whose name is going where and what cult gets to harvest off her energy next and what cult gets to use her name in an underground false doppelganger, false porn show, where people have asked me in the many of years if I've been on Fans Only or an OnlyFans, if I've done porn videos, if I'm a transgender, all of these things because of the stories that are out there that are 100% untrue. These fabrications, these defamations, these discriminations, these sabotaging energies was an absolute plan. It was planned and it was organized. It was very intricate in its organization. It was very absolutely intended with malice, intended with hate, intended with destroying my life. I've had people come up and ask me these things. When I go online, they say, hey, aren't you from Fans Only? Don't you do porn? I don't do porn. I'm been celibate for 15 years. I'm legally divorced. I've been estranged from my ex for 8 years, and what he was involved in was a sex cult. And this sex cult was paid by the government as minions, as dark minions, to do anything that they could to break me. That was part of their systematic program, was to break them physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, all of these things that they do. They send you fake friends. They send you fake people to come in your classes. They send you fake lovers. They send you people just to show up at a coffee store and pretend they've never been there before, but they're just hanging by and they see you're working on something interesting, so they're going to sit down, but they don't know you at all. I've had people actually do that. A man late one night comes walking into the coffee store. Oh, I go to coffee stores all the time and I just walk around, and if I see something interesting, I'm going to sit down and I want to chat with you. Yeah, right. You were sent by the ops. Stalkers in every parking lot that I ever go to. They're the ops. Trucks that have body boxes on the back of their pickups so they can throw me in there whenever they want, because that's exactly what the body boxes are for. Man-made little wood boxes with little locks on the door. Go check it out there in the parking lot right now. Sitting next to an Audi that's been there from day one. From the moment the coffee shop opens to the moment the coffee shop closes. These are truths. These are part of organized crime. These are part of stalking, spying, and hacking that go on in the warped underground system of black web called Slow dagger. And when you are given a slow dagger direct hit from a mason, a corrupt mason, a warped mason, a witch or a warlock, or a higher elite from the entertainment business or anybody above, because they don't want you talking, they don't want you in their program because you don't conform to their program, you're not controllable and you're not handleable, even though they handled me and sold me 200 times. A lot of people were making money, but I was sitting on the street. So I'm going to say it again. My ex from Calgary, you know who you are, Mr. Perez. You will never, ever stand beside me, ever, ever. You're never, ever going to be a friend of mine, ever. You brought danger into the home. You brought danger into my life. You sold me out you scapegoated me and you sold me under the train. I don't know how many countless times. You will never, ever stand beside me, ever. The only time I will stand beside you is if we are in courtroom and I will be saying he is guilty as F. Please charge him with the 17 plus crimes that have been noted. Withholding my mail, withholding information, withholding money, stealing, fraud, doppelganger, the infinite number of crimes that were done on me. We're not friends. But thank you for, at the last second of the last nth of the last breath of the day, for people that come from the past and now think, oh, maybe this ascension thing is really true. And maybe we better do something because our lives keep getting into karma and her life keeps seeming moving up because God is lifting her. Because I am exactly who I said I was. I say what I see and I see what I say. Nothing has changed about my story. Go back to the first video I posted 17 years ago. I'm the same being of light. Except I'm a little bit more experienced now because of all the hate, because of the absolute discrimination on this planet towards women and anybody that speaks light and spirituality, spiritual knowledge. You know, higher intelligence that is light knowledge, it's spiritual knowledge, has nothing to do with church and state that won't get you anywhere but in hate and entropy, which we're seeing now. They're all breaking. They're all broke. And where do they have their money? Where's their money? You all know where it is. Import and export. And every day I come on, I show exactly what's going on in the collective, and my story is a discrimination story that is the most abhorrent that has ever been seen. And my story will be known on all galaxies and all realms and all universes. And I can't tell you how many times, if you go back to all my videos the last 4 years, I don't care what spiral anybody is in from the past, my God. I have said it over 5,000 times. There is never any, ever, any, ever, in a billion effing evers and a billion on top of that billion. There will never, ever be any from the past of the 200 that were involved in ripping my life apart. There will never be another incarnation of any of you. God had to remove each and every one of you for the horrible spiritual laws that were crossed, the Akashic records that were absolutely broken into countless times. The highest of the spiritual laws in the ethers, in the spiritual realms, were crossed by most of you in the 200 group. You absolutely knew what you were doing at the most malicious, most hateful, most sadistic, most selfish, arrogant acts that have ever been seen on the planet towards one healer of divine feminine with nobody beside her, with no resources, with no foundation, with no home, with nobody. And you all must be very proud. I'm going to stand up for the very last time. I will stand up. I will stand up for the very last time. There is no way on this earth or any other planet or any other realm or any other universe, there is no way anybody from the past of the 200 corrupt shadow government, there ain't no way that you will ever co-create next to me ever again. You are all given 3 to 4 years to make right, and none of you have done anything. You haven't done anything to help me with my life. You've done nothing to bring me peace. You've done nothing to bring truth to my life that would help me give peace in my life, which I've asked for thousands of times. Thousands. And in a court of law, which I am higher law. All of you are guilty for accomplishing premeditated murder, sabotage, criminal abuse, abuse of technology, abuse of information, abuse of power, abuse of the systems, abuse of financial systems, fabrication of medical information, fabrication of personal information. None of you had an ounce to do. These are all federal offenses. You've messed with my name, you've messed with my birth, you've messed with my medical records. What have you not fucking messed with? There is no way on any level in any creation any of you will ever come back and touch my life. You have done so much damage. You have no idea the damages you've done to timelines, the damages you've done to the Akash, the damages that you have done that celestial beings had to play babysitter and go back and retrace all of your steps to fix it. This is how arrogant these people are on the earth that think they have higher spiritual knowledge, that they're just going to go in and they're going to go, oh, do willy-nilly because they want my destiny. Because they want to be seen as the important one. Well, how about you try and heal and be important for you? Because you're never going to have my destiny because you're not me. You're not working on the number of timelines I am because you're not getting spiritual knowledge. You're working on about 300 timelines and I'm about 1,000. So you could never, ever, 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 ever in a billion effing evers ever take my destiny. You've only got 300 timelines in your consciousness. You would have psychosis and you would break. You would go insane. We've been teaching these things for so long, but people are so caught up in being seen and being famous and being this and being that and being the most powerful one. Humanity's understanding of power is absolutely warped and twisted. They're stuck in the wounding of 3D misogyny. True power is never going anywhere outside of you. I am true power. That's why God gifts it to me. That's why God blesses it to me. Do you get that? Because why? Because it's all within the infinity. It's all within the infinity. I don't take anything from anybody. I don't take anything from anybody. All I have my power is from within. That's what I teach. You don't need anything outside of you. I haven't taken anything from anyone. My work is my work. My work is my download. All I get is from within. My books are from within. I channel my material. I write it down. I do the work every day. 200 people found it necessary to play their little games because they're still stuck in ancient times of what power thinks people mean and clout and power this and power that and I'm more powerful, I'm more smarter, and I'm this and I'm that. It's all false. They're false idealisms of what you know to be true about how important you are to you. Again, who are you? If you love yourself, if you care about yourself, if you're one with God, none of the other stuff matters. Then again, you're not putting yourself in all the confusion, all the mess, and all the little webs that people weave in their lies and their fabrications. That's why they're going down. That's why each and every one of the 200, you're going to go down, 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 down where you need to be. Because you're the ones that created over 3,000 lies. How many lies, Spirit? Since the day that I'm born, how many lies have been fabricated on my name, on my energy, including the black web, including the people that wrote my name on a piece of paper, including the people that made a hell lot of money on me while I was sitting on the street. So we're looking at about more than 5,000. From the very time that I was born, whatever information was entered in the birth records, which I still don't have, nobody's given me an ounce of peace because nobody cares about me. None of you care about me. All you care about, you have no remorse for what you've done. You have no remorse for where you put me. You have no remorse to see what it feels like to sleep on the street every night. None of you actually care. All you care about is you see everything being pulled out from underneath you because God said, as I said, as I said, as I said, my name is, my tongue is. If you will not make it right, watch everything being pulled out from underneath you. And there will be God right there. That's who you need to go to. That's who you need to redeem with. Time is up with me. The door is closed with me, as I said 18 billion times. Calgary. We're not ever going to work together. You had 3 years to make it right, and you did absolutely nothing. You did more lies. You did more scandals. You did more plots. You did more plans. You did more hexes. You did more full moon death plots. You did even more. You went even further into the Akash and into the ethers to see how you can twist my timelines. Spirit shows me more criminal offenses in the spiritual is what you did. Then you have a couple of ego deaths and you cry a little bit and you think you're healed and you're going to come back. No, you're not coming into my space. I owe you nothing. You are relentless vampires and thieves. I will never support you in your life. I won't support you. You have taken enough, you have raped enough, you have tormented me enough. I live on the street because of you. The defamation you have done, the suffocating of my finances, the group work that you have done on my life, and they're all lies. It's all lies. Do you know how long it's going to take me to fix my credit bureau? How long it's going to take me to fix the name and how many times you've used my name? You've used my name illegally, criminally. Do you know how long it's going to take me to fix? And not one of you, I don't care how high up you are, not one of you have any ounce of remorse for what you have done and the fuckery you have done on my life. All of you are banished. All of you are banished and cleansed from my life. All of you. There are legions and legions and legions that are assuring you're not going to touch my timeline ever again. From wherever you will sit in the darkest realms of wherever you will sit, because you have not brought an ounce of light into your life. You have not brought any peace. You have not brought any balance. You have not brought any harmony. They were 100% lies. Shadow government, you are absolutely 100% accountable for inciting such danger to one divine feminine, because I refuse to be conformed out of your shadow governments, and I refuse to bend, and I will not bow to lesser. Because you want me in programs where I can just be numb, dumb, and stupid and say, yes, sir, yes, madam, yes, madam, yes, madam. What should I do next, master? What should I do? Yes, next, master. What should I do next, master? Should I get on my knees for you, master? Should I? Should I? I wouldn't give any of you an ounce of me. You would not be able to carry an ounce of my destiny and my histories. None of you. None of you would. You don't know who I am. None of you know who I am right now. None of you. I come from all realms. I come from the heavens. And every day I'm upgraded and enhanced. Because I keep integrating. I keep learning. I keep being one with source. I don't have anything to prove to any of you. There will be no more trafficking. That is my word on this garden. Trafficking is done. The black web will be pulled day by day by day by day, like the zit that it is. Pull the black web. All of creation, our energies will be going to pull the black web and all of their trafficking rings thereof. Pull it. And the beautiful beings that have been taken out, you didn't have 1 ounce of remorse for the beings and the children that you have touched, that you have affected, and their destinies are now dead and gone because of you. And your mal-informed ideals about spirituality and spirit and God. And what do? You practice satanic rituals while you're walking in a Baptist church. You tell me you're righteous. You're not going to come and sit beside me. Your lies are enough to carry your time on. You're walking somewhere else. You ain't coming near me. And I've told you 8 billion times, and I don't care why I gotta keep saying no. Because you don't respect me. Because if you did respect me, you would say, if she hasn't invited me, maybe she doesn't care about me, maybe she doesn't want me there. Exactly. I haven't invited you. I've asked you to stay away from me over 5,000 times, as many lies as you put on my name. So go think about it. As many rituals as you have done to me, go think about it. As many sacrifices you've done on my name and my body and my family, go think about it. You brought the demon to my children's door. You don't get another ride with me. My cutoff is eternal. I reclaim my light, and I reclaim all that I am as a vibration from every one of these 200 people. They didn't deserve an ounce of me. There will be no other being that will harvest off my energy or my light. None. None will ever harvest off me. And if you are crossing the laws of spirituality and the higher order, which are now on this planet, which are now my rain, my garden, my nourishment, my soils. And if you don't like it, take it up with whoever you think your God is. Because each and every one of them, they answer to God. And God said enough a long time ago. Apparently haven't heard it. Go to any one of our videos, we say it every day. We teach you about ascension. You don't have to take anything from anybody or anything outside of you. It's all within you. God is within you. Source is within you. Your Akashic is within you. Your divine beingness is within you. Your gifts, your skills, your talents, it's all within you. Your light is within you. Your Macabre is within you. Everything is within you, dear lighted ones. How many times we got to say it? But you're not getting it. That's not my problem. I'm not going to stay down because you want me to stay down with you. Doesn't remorse, doesn't all this negativity want, doesn't want company. What does that say? What's that old saying say? The hate wants the company, right? So you just want to keep the only light in your neighborhood down. And what does that do for the rest of creation? You've just ruined creation. This is how disconnected the mentality is. This is how disconnected intelligence is. What happens if you take the only divine feminine light out? What happens, dear lighted ones? What happens? Epstein Earth entropy within 5 years. Why do you think it's so important? Source says no, enough is enough. Windows, doors, vaults closed. You had your chance. Bye. You all had your chance. Do you think we're kidding? Do you think God's going to give you another 5,000 chances to get the basic rule of this foundation right? To evolve on any one of the dimensions. Any one of the dimensions. What's a basic rule? Do unto others. Do Do you think it's going to take you another 5,000 times in 3D to get that one rule down? Leaders of the countries, do unto others. Where's your money going? Are you making healing centers with higher vibrational intelligent wisdoms on the planet? Are you? Are you? Do you know what light intelligence is? Have you called me to understand consciousness? Have you called me have you called me in to say, hey, I want to learn about this unity thing because my people are struggling. I want to help my people out. I want my people to heal. I want to be the bridge of a rainbow ascension. I want to be a part of this ascension thing. Tell me how I can be a part of it. Who's working on their 51% of their, who's working on their 51%? Who's working on their 51% of the karma? Are you looking at what you need to look at every day? Are you looking at your divine feminine, divine masculine energies every day? Where are you discriminating? Where are you separating? Where are you pushing away? Why are you lying? Why are you hiding? Why can't you be transparent and just say what it is? Because you thought we were joking the first 4,000 years, right? You thought we were joking, this whole do unto others thing? Is it a big joke to you? You sit in your little box stores and you think you'll run all. You think you are it. You think you wear that robe and that's all there is. There is the higher umbrella source creator. All suns, all moons, all planets, all galaxies, all breath in between. Do you think that there is a Catholicism on Jupiter? Do you think there's a Buddhism on sixth dimensional Pleiades? Do you think that there is a Baha'i or Satan or Luciferian rules in Mars? What religions are you going to bring there? What beliefs are you going to bring there? Why do you think there are these rules, dear lighted ones? Why do you think it's so important that you heal your bodies? Why do you think it's so important about the law of balance to be every breath that you take? The inhale and the exhale. It's very basic. We're going down to the very basic of kindergarten. Why do you think it's so important that we understand law of balance right now? The divine feminine, the divine masculine, the kundalini, the DNA. Why do you think it's so important we get to basics right now? Do unto others. 3 words, very basic, write them down. Do unto others. Why do you think it's so important we get this? It doesn't matter what you think or where you're going to go or what your beliefs are, atheist or whatever. Just because you're an atheist doesn't mean that all of creation is going to change because you want to choose to believe in something in the box store. Stay in your box store, believe whatever you want to believe. God is still God. Source is still source. Universal laws are still universal laws. Quantum science is still quantum science. What you put out is still coming back to you. What you believe is still coming back to you. And it matters about where are you at on your path of ascension. How important is your soul's progression? How far do you think you're going to get if you don't believe in anything? You don't believe in nothing. There's no miracles. There's no nothing. There's no soul blueprint. There's no destiny. It doesn't matter about past timelines. It doesn't matter about future timelines. It doesn't matter if you're Pleiadian, Sirian, Arcturian. None of that matters. Nothing matters because there's no beliefs. No beliefs. I don't believe in anything. Nobody's coming with me. There's no teams. There's no celestials. There's no nothing. There's no God. There's no nothing. So what's going to be your soul progression of that? That's going to be an experience. Now you got to validate that because you're choosing it. You're responsible. You're accountable for your nothing beliefs. You believe whatever you want to believe. I don't give a crap. It's your beliefs. You believe whatever you want to believe. So if that's the point, then all of creation and all of its life doesn't belong to anything or anything belong to it. So where's the unity factor? Where's love? Where's unity? Where's harmony? How is you going to progress? How are you going to progress? How are you going to progress up your soul when you find out that all of these aspects are you? Because it is a holographic reality. Everything outside of you is still you. You still got to give a crap about it because it's all you. It's all you. It's looking back at you. You created it, you manifested it. It's all looking back at you, then what? Where's your intelligence? Where are the theories? Where's the practices that says, I'm gonna look at this today and I'm gonna harmonize, I'm gonna look at it. Then what are you gonna do? Where's your logic? How are you gonna bring sense to it? How are you gonna resolve it? What's your resolve? You're gonna say, okay, it exists out there. Is that resolving it? A holographic reality is everything that you are. Your consciousness grows when you're ready to accept that. That's consciousness. I'm growing in the one with all that is. All that is all that is. It's everything, all that is, all box stores. Everything is all that is. I can be atheist, I can be Buddha, I can be Baha'i, I can be whatever I want. It's all that is. But I'd rather in all things just be source. It's all acceptable. It's all this, it's all that. I get it all. It's all the hologram looking back at me. I get it. I accept all of you. That's a very profound truth. Why don't you start there? Very simple. All is all. All is one. I don't have to separate. I don't have to discriminate. I can then start to feel myself, and I can say, okay, let's go in and see if I can feel source. I can feel God. I can feel the energy of spirit, because I am a spiritual being. I've always been on a spiritual journey. I'm always going to be on a spiritual journey. Doesn't matter what timeline, doesn't matter what body, doesn't matter what planet, doesn't matter what species, doesn't matter anything. I will always be a spiritual being because I am spirit. I happen to be in a carbon matter body that is also spirit. My Christ consciousness sits within my water body. My chakras, the water body in and of itself, my cells, that's where the Christ lives. The Christ consciousness, it's not a religion. It's a spirit. The essence of light is called Christ consciousness. And when you breathe in, you activate that Christ consciousness. You activate light because you intend it. You intend to work on it. You intend to be in alliance with light. I choose light to be in my life, Mother, Father. I choose light to be with me. I choose light to be with my breath. I choose light to be with my thought, word, and deed. And when you do choose to be it, it chooses to be a part of you. It's who you are. You are all things, you are all species, you are all light, you are all rainbows, you are all colors, you are all dodecahedrons, you're all species, you're everything. Start there, all that is. And why is it so important? And why is it the only thing, if you ever take anything away every day from this beautiful spiritual journey, is the law of balance. There must be equal love in all creation for all life that is balanced. And if it's not imbalanced, the hand of God and the legions and the highest realms and the ancestors will all join in, because it's very important for all of creation to evolve. Creation will not stop evolving because a collective of humanity refused to heal and come out of their selfish, arrogant, greedy, misogynistic ways. Creation will not stop because certain people want to stay in trafficking and get the money and hurt people. Because they refuse to grow beyond 3D barbarianism and their unique beliefs. There are universal laws that allow the planet to move in evolutionary ways called natural order. When natural order is interfered with, which is what humanity has done for 5,000 years, humanity is not allowed for natural order. Humanity has played itself as God due to church and state imbalances. We've talked about it. It's true. Do your own research. Look around you. There is no balance. Therefore, thus then, the timelines will be pulled of the lowest vibrations. They must be. Towers will continue until there is balance brought. Not one of you from my one human case out of the 8 billion, this is an example, and why it is so important that we get balance. Out of my one human case of being a divine feminine healer, and I move wormies back to the soil. And I actually do. I did this morning. I moved a little wormy from the cement back onto the grass. That's what I do as a healer. But these elite church and states have had me on watch lists. They think I'm a threat because they are threatened because they don't understand intelligence, because they rotate in darkness. They rotate in deeds of misogyny and separation and disconnection. There is no love within them. There's no spirit within them. They're not connected with spirit. They're not connected with a God that's outside of a church or a building, in which that is run, a lot of them now are just nothing but corruption. So why do you hold so tight to your church and your Bible? There's nothing going on there but corruption. Nothing going on there but touching of children and making it an easy tax haven for those that want it. What's really, is that your intention? Is that your compass? Again, look at everything. What's your compass? Look at everything. What is your compass? Why you do what you do and how you do what you do will show you where you're going to end up. Everything is run in corruption because there is no connection of the heart. The chakras are not closed. Chakras are not opened up. The chakras are not light. Chakras are closed off. They're dark. Nothing's going on inside your spiritual body. This is your spiritual body. There's nothing going on there because there's disconnection. There's no information. There's no intelligence. There's no teaching. There's no teaching on the planet. Zero in spiritual knowledge. Unless you go seek it personally, you go seek it and you actually sit down and you seek the intention with Source Creator. Source, you have breathed me as a spiritual being across all creation, across all timelines, across all realms. Since the beginning of time, since the highest dimensions, God has breathed me as a spiritual being. That is a truth that will never escape. I will never escape the truth that I'm a spiritual being. How you progress in every lifetime that you're given will determine, will you continue in eternal life or will you continue to go into dark entropy, darker, lower realms? And you may never, ever have a body or a form there because it's just darkness. You cannot manifest a body unless there's light in it. Light. The body matter has to have some spiritual body to it to survive. If there's no spiritual body, the matter body will not survive. If you have chosen to disconnect from your spirit, if you have chosen to break the spirit, if you've chosen to do everything that's been done to me on a slow dagger, but luckily I survived because Source is everywhere within me, and Source ain't going nowhere. I am Source. You cannot break Source from me. But oh, you tried, didn't you? Millions of dollars spent to try and break me, millions of dollars spent to try and take Source out of me, but what I teach is absolutely true. What I teach is true. Every single human on this planet is a spiritual being on a spiritual journey. Whether they practice being spiritual or not, it's up to them, it's free will. Because there's been no spiritual teachings on this planet that show and teach and offer higher spiritual intelligence of the Merkaba, of Metatronic light, of who we are as Christ consciousness has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with who you are as light with all creation. You are connected with all creation, like it or not. Going through the daily path work can allow you to love it all. Atheism is just a belief in the box store. It does not change that you are in a universal being of universal light of a spiritual body in a human body. It doesn't change. These are truths. Your box store belief doesn't change that. It will, however, offer and it will alter the experience you have in your body. It will either be a body of light because you want to be with spirit, you want to have a relationship with spirit, you want to engage with spirit because you are it, you are spirit. The higher in dimension we go, the higher in light we go. We become more light. We actually become less dense, become less matter. That's a truth. We change carbon to crystalline. That's a truth. These are quantum truths. This is the process of ascension. We go from dense to light. But if you choose to not have those beliefs and you choose to sit in your box store and still be in the belief that there's nothing ever, I'm not a spirit, I'm not anything, then fine, your body will continue to go into dark entropy. But you have to be okay with that. You cannot then think that when you pass away, you're just going to get another chance in another body in another dimension. No, you won't. You have to earn the consciousness. You have to earn the consciousness to operate in a 5D dimension. And if you can't even get do unto others, a very basic law of all creation, it is the simplest law on the lowest vibration. That's why it was taught to you. It was taught to you at the very lowest vibration of 3D. Do unto others. If you cannot get that very basic law that the leaders can't even get, the leaders cannot even operate and do unto others. Because how many of them have plots and plans and schemes? And how many of them have known what's going on and who's doing what? And how many we're just going to shut down? And how many injustices are we going to have? How many people are in jail right now that have never committed a crime? Is there a number there, Spirit, in North America? Do you want this number? Would you like to know what I see? Would you like to know the number I see? How many in North America that are in jail right now that have never committed a crime? Would you like to know the number? Put down your yes or no in the field. Say it out loud telepathically so I can hear you. Yes, you'd like to know. Would you like to know? $52,000. 52,000 across North America that are in jail and they did not commit the crime. Their judicial processes were not held correctly and appropriately in the due diligence of the law. How many times did they try and defame me and blame me for the crimes that I was not even involved with? I'm the actual victim. How many times were they use my name in the underground? How many times is my name used to dump their crimes on me? Because they thought that I would die. They thought that I would be believed to have been died. They thought that if they dumped it on a dead person, that they could get away with all of their crimes. How many times is that done on my name since the day I was born, Spirit? All those people that used my name and all those people that pretended to be me and get money out of the bank and all the things that they had done on my name and my energy and the crimes that were done on my energy that I carried for all of you, and I transmuted it. There wasn't even involved in it. I'm moving little wormies. How is that okay? But this is the system, and this is why there must be balance, because it is so egregious. The public doesn't even know an ounce of what happened. And believe me, the public will know, because I'm only one of billions on the planet. And God said there is no way that I will ever be taken to any type of jail. The egregious things that have been done. There will be the falling of the heavens on this planet and the breaking open of every country if that will ever happen. The damages and the abuses have been so horrible. And your even plots and plans, and that's why you're getting karma so very bad. Because your thoughts have gone there. Your thoughts have been so sadistic and masochistic on my name, on my life. And I move wormies. I bring light to the multiverse. I bring codes to the multiverse. I bring songs to the children that have never been sung before, that they need to activate their DNA. I am an ancient and I am a celestial and I am of the heavens and I am source. I was born inside the sun. Make no mistake about it. I will never, ever be separated from my destiny because I am. And it is vital that every human on this planet get and live the law of balance. Because if you don't, you simply cannot evolve. If you cannot tune in to when your body is balanced and when it's not. If you cannot tune in to when your mental body is balanced and it not. If you cannot tune in to when the person next to you is imbalanced or not. If you cannot tune in to when is a judicial paper rolling across the desk and you're signing it, yes or no, or whether there's lies or money's being passed before you, yes or no, whether there's lies on an innocent person, yes or no, and you're all being paid back and forth to make sure that she goes to jail and you don't, while you're walking around making trafficking rings and RICO rings and pedophilia rings all over the place. Now you tell me, dear lighted ones, how much remorse do any of you have on my life over 50 years? Nothing. None of you have brought an ounce of truth or righteousness. And if you have, there ain't been one piece of paper that's been brought to me. There ain't been nothing come across my desk. There ain't been nobody talk to me. There ain't been nothing brought forward as far as a statement. You all have the address of the bank. There hasn't been one penny, not one penny, returned to me. Not one shadow government that said an apology, not one government that's done nothing about my passports, and everybody's gotten away for 50 years, getting away with taking money and scheming money and plotting and planning and attacking me every way that they can and having their private little departments study me. How many investigations on the experiments have been done on my name and my body since I've been born, Spirit? Can you give me a number on that, Spirit? Less the 3 years that you were told the people to leave me alone and you blanketed me. I want a number based on the 53 years, 50 years. Well, let's just say 51, because I'm 54 right now and the year's just about over. Who the hell knows how old I am? I don't know my name, I don't know my lineage, don't know nothing except for the ones in the heavens. Because ain't nobody on planet Earth has been truthful enough. They don't care. They're getting money left, right, and center from every inheritance. Anybody that's born on this planet, they know exactly how much money they got coming to them. They got to know the insurance companies that's going to scam another will on them or put another name on the insurance form, so they're going to sacrifice Billy Bob Joe next door. They know exactly what's going on in every city and every community. And don't think that you're all ranked, anybody that you are in the underground. Whether you call yourself a Black Panther or a warped-ass Mason, doesn't matter how you ranked you think you are, you're not. Your little games that you play will never stand up in a 5D light. And you're finding that out, aren't you? Because you're getting karma all over the place. Karma, karma, karma. And it ain't a light worker just telling you that. It ain't my fault. You know what it is? It's you still doing dark, corrupt things in a light world. And the light world is going to show you, this is light, you're not. This is light, you're not. This is light, you're not. So what are you going to do now? Now what? As we've been asking you for years, what are you going to do, witches and warlocks and warped masons and those in the corrupt governments and those in the corrupt businesses and those in the corrupt insurance and those are the corrupt banks and those are the corrupt judicial and those are the corrupt lawyers and those in the corrupt banks? And what are we saying? Oh yeah, don't forget about the hospitals and the underground organ trafficking systems and the black web. It goes on and on and on and on and on. And you say that you're going to attack the light workers and that's your answer. Really? That's your highest intelligence. We're going to say one more time. The light workers have nothing to do with where you're at. You have everything to do with where you're at, because the light on the planet is getting bathed every day and people are awakening every day. And it's showing you right now that every system on this planet is corrupt because of its corrupt leaders and its corrupt practices, because there's no intelligence. There's no light, intelligent teachings on the planet. And if you refuse to learn, if you refuse to level up, if you refuse to be evolved, if you refuse to be intelligent beyond barbarianism and trafficking and warlockery and witchery, to manipulate your way into abundance and clout, is that your answer? Is your answer from here on out to the end of time to be that of Epstein, where you manipulate, you lie, and you do witchery and warlockery, and you try and fool everybody you can for the false ideas of clout and importance? Is that your idea? Is that your compass? Is your compass to be Epstein aligned? Because that's what corruption is. It's Epstein aligned. It's fabricated. It's illusory. Nothing but debauchery. Nothing but manipulation and malice. It's the abuse of life force. It's the abuse of energy. It's the abuse of systems. It's the abuse of everything. You're Epstein aligned or you're light aligned. I'm putting in very basics in 100 different ways that all of you can wake up. This is a wake up session. The planet is ascending. The planet will move into light. The planet will keep moving into light. That is the agenda. Nobody will stop that. No belief on the planet will stop ascension. Your belief will determine how much fun you're going to have on the ride. Or will you be pulled out into the lower vibrational earths? Because that's what you choose. You choose to be dark. You choose to not be evolved. You choose to not make things right. You choose to never do unto others because you don't care. Because there's no light within you. You have not harmonized light. You have not connected with light. You have not made a relationship with light. You have not made a relationship with anything. There's no alignment within you except darkness and misinformed beliefs, misguided beliefs about all that is creation, magical, mystical, divine, sacred, precious, honoring, compassionate, joyful, loving, celebratory. That's how you align with your highest timeline. So every day, dear lighted ones, you get to choose. Who are you? What exists within you and what's going on within you? What you exist within in this holographic experience? Is it going to be your highest timeline? I align with my highest timeline, dear lighted ones. And with breath. And with intention. Intention comes from the center of your being. Why? Because you're aligned, your chakras are aligned, your pillar of light aligns your chakras. And in the center of your being, I am aligned with my highest timeline. I am aligned with my highest timeline. I am aligned with my highest timeline. I am nothing but light and love and joy. And back nice and straight so you tell the universe that you are sacred. And when you take a deep inhale, breathe in light. See the light. Call in light. Use your voice. Your voice activates the fields around you. Your voice activates your chakras to spin and to open and to call in light. My alliance with light. I want to be with light. I want light to be with me. I want to partner with light. I want a relationship with light. That is the most important relationship right now. I could be happy if I never ever have another partner. It's all creation. That's fine because I can partner with anything and anyone. Right now, all I care about is my light. Because I'm married to God, I'm married to Source. That's all that matters. Because 200 people came against me with the deepest pockets on this planet, with the richest, most elite, most highest directive people on the planet. And I'm still here today, and they would have it otherwise. 100 times over, they would have it otherwise. They do not want me sharing what I teach. Because I will activate your soul's code within you. That's what I do. My voice activates who you are as a soul. You will remember, my God, I'm so vast. I remember being a Pleiadian. I remember being a Lyran. I remember being Octurian and Cassiopean. Wow, look at me. Doesn't it feel good? Then you don't need anything outside of you. You don't need to grab stuff from other people. You don't need a harvest. You don't need a siphon. Why? Because you know that you're all that is. You're starting to remember. You're starting to soul integrate. You're starting to integrate those fragments. You're starting to heal all those fragments. You're starting to understand divine feminine, divine masculine. Doesn't it feel good to be intelligent? Rather than just thinking you got to hate people and you got to be threatened and you got to be fearing and you got to be thinking of these wrong beliefs about power. That's not power. That ain't power. It's ignorance. What you think is power is just a belief. It's an illusion. That's not power. Power is not hurting people. Power is not defaming people. Power is not raping people. Power is not RICOing people. Power is not a black web. That's cowardly, not dealing with the issues of suppression and subjugation and the sexual dysfunctions. That's cowardly. When it's cowardly, what are you doing? You're repressing it. You're suppressing it. You're depressing it. Oh, push it down, push it down, push it down. That's why it's so dark, because you're not letting any light in. These are quantum truths, dear lighted ones. Darkness is darkness because you're not letting any light in. It will always be dark until you choose to be light, until you choose to heal. Those people from Calgary, all of you, all of the rituals that you've done, the intentions that you did on my life when none of you knew me, none of you chose to go out and look for the truth. None of you chose to do the right thing on my life. None of you chose to do anything right on my life. And if you did, I don't know about it. I don't care to know about it. You can send a piece of paper to the bank if you want me to know about it. But so far, I haven't seen anything. The Lord and the God has removed you from my life because you were so damaging to my life. You were trying to enforce your way back into my life so that you can keep harvesting and keep manifesting stuff off my energy, where my life and my body was going downhill, everything taken away from me, poverty and all, because you enforced it every day in your gangs and your groups of rituals and black magic and rewarping my mail and making sure I didn't hear about good things because you knew people were trying to look for me to work with me because they weren't your ideas, they're my ideas, my content, my intellectual property. You did everything in your power to absolutely mess with my life on every level. And then you made me look like I was dumb, numb, I was a porn addict, I was this, I was this, I was this, I was needed of a POA, I was needed of this and this and this. I'm a genius, I'll wrap circles around each and every one of you in criminal court when I absolutely say all of these people are guilty. 15 years to life. Because you felt that you played God over my life, not for just one time, but hundreds and thousands of times. You didn't sabotage me once. You sabotaged me thousands of times. Every time you withheld mail, every time you withheld truth, every time you withheld money, every time you harvested, every time you sucked the life out of me, every time you wished me death, every time you wish me a car crash, every time you wish me to break a leg, every time you wish me to be ugly, every time you wish me to stop talking, every time you wish me never to be me, every time you wish me not to have my destiny, every time you wish me for my kids to hate me, every time you wished everything on me. And you want to come back into my life. Everybody from Calgary, on what you've done to me and others, because I'm the one that survived. There were many before me that didn't survive. And all of you have to face that. All of you have to face what you do in cults. And you have to face, is that your compass? You actually sign up to hurt people. You actually sign up to take rituals to see how good you can be at hurting people. This is how people get initiated into some of these cults. They actually sign up for these cults, and some of their initiations are to actually go to the lengths of taking people out and actually filming it, called snuff videos. And all of the investigations and the Interpol and Calgary police, they all know about it, and some of them they do something about it and some of them they don't. And you have to sit with yourselves in that. You have to sit where you are as a soul. You have to sit with the infinity, and you have to say, how am I going to redeem myself? Because the doors and the windows are closing. You're either going to go into eternal light and have light to be a part of you, because if there's no light in front of you, nobody's going to give you a free ticket. You have to earn it. You have to earn your soul's progression. The only way to do that is light. This is light intelligent wisdoms, dear lighted ones. They've been with us since the very beginning of our ancient times. I teach this. These are truths. It doesn't matter what box store you sit in, this is the one truth. You are responsible for your soul's progression. If you do not allow for the consciousness through light, through the harmonization, through alchemy, through healing your wounds, if you do not allow that, the only place and the only option, the only consequence will be, which is a quantum truth, it is a universal truth, will be that you sit in darkness. And in darkness, just because of the way the body is, if you do not have enough light in a body, you cannot manifest a body. There are no more 3D dimensions in this one universe. There's no more time for you to play do unto others and get it. You've had 4,000 to 5,000 to 6,000 years, even more. If you cannot operate at the base minimum of the Earth's Schumann resonance, and if you cannot operate in do unto others, at the leaders level, at the social levels, at the whatever level you are at in society, because apparently it's very, very important to all of you of where you sit in society. Does that mean something to you? Does that mean you're powerful? If you're at an elite status, does that mean you're a powerful person if you sit at the top level of something in your society? Does that make you important? What makes you valued in your society, dear lighted ones? Not what you've been taught and told or shown in familiar lineage or educational or your social systems. What makes you valuable? Well, who are you? When you're healed, you can say something that has nothing to do with your social status. When you're healed, you say something like, I like to move wormies. I'm an ambassador of the planet. I'm a steward of the planet. I love talking to cetaceans. I'm a vibrational healer speaker. I'm a conduit. I love speaking with nature. I love speaking with Source Creator. I can go anywhere. Where do you want me to go? You want to go to the Pleiades? I see a portal in the Pleiades. You want to go there? You want to know what the systems are on the planet Earth that are corrupt right now, that we can do everything we can to heal it? Just pierce a bit of light there. Let's go. Put it up. Put the papers on the table. Let's work it out. I can build a bridge anywhere. What do you want to talk about next? You want to talk about the garbage and the toxins that the garbage let off? Let's talk about that. We can heal that. You want to talk about the oceans? You want to talk about that? Yeah. What's my name? I got a few names. I come from Pleiades, I come from star systems, I come from everywhere. But I'm here from the planet. I was born on the planet, but people have chosen to do what they wanted to do to hide me, to make sure that I'm dead. Because they don't want me going nowhere, because I can't be handled. Because you just spin me and let me go, and boy, oh boy, I'll heal anything. And they know that. They want you to stay a little bit darker. Well, what about adding a little bit of light like me? A little bit of uniqueness, because I can come and I can be, and I can sing, and I can bring codes, and I can bring light, and I can awaken a whole collective just like that overnight. 1 million people woke up just now. Because there's truth. And truth ain't confusing. It is what it is. Light is light, period. It'll awaken your chakras. It'll awaken a memory. It'll awaken who you thought you were. But no, you're better. You're bigger. You're much more than that. You're a universal species. How about go there? Wouldn't that be fun for a day? I'm a universal species. What does that mean? Well, I had a dream last night. I was this being. I had a dream that I was in a light ship, and then I come over to work and I'm handing out food for the homeless, and this is what I do. Doesn't that sound a little bit better than, well, I live on 4th Avenue in the most expensive house, and so far I like to wear suits my whole life, and I like to lie to people's faces, because behind closed doors, this is what I do. And I'm status and I'm clout-filled. We're not going to change any rules, because it's where we like to be. We like to be just in our way. We like to sell people and things back and forth, and we make the rules, and we make a lot of money. And we hide it. We hide it, yeah, of course we hide it. We got affiliation companies, import, exports, put that on the taxes, that's okay. Because we are responsible for the taxes. We're responsible for the banks. We're responsible for the hospitals. We have our hands in everything. No reason for that here. We just keep making money. Ho, 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 let's just make money. That's all that matters. Important status things, like money. Ho, ho, ho. I go to church once in a while. I guess I'm okay. I'll be okay. I'm going to go to heaven. I'll donate $30,000 to cancer next week. Ho, ho, ho. By the way, don't forget we're going to sacrifice Billy Bob Joe next week. We need some more insurance coming in over there to the business over there. But I got the hands and everything. It's just a little human hunting machine. Everybody's screwing to find out where are we going to get the money next? Who can we sacrifice next? What's going to go next? Who's going to go next? Can I be initiated to do something bad for you? Can I be initiated to be your dark little minion? This is what actually happens in the communities. And you tell me that's your higher intelligence. That's your compass. You actually put your hand up to be initiated into this? And then you wonder why God's closing the door. Are you kidding me? I'm the twin ray of Jesus from the heavens, delighted ones, and I'm a master. I've been here 1,000 times. For 54 years, I've had to do nothing but fight for my life and my voice, just to stay alive. And every day of my life, there's been a curse and a hex on my life, with the exception of 3 years that God said, no, her body needs a break, so that she can remember who she is. Because she's very important in the multiverse about what codes she's bringing and what divine feminine energy she brings to the entire multiverse, not just this one planet. But there's been over 200 people, and that's not a lot, but these 200 people have been the richest and the most powerful of this continent. And they will do anything to pay people from other continents to make sure that I never speak and I never get up. And there's been death plots on my life for a very long time. And everybody doing everything they can to make sure I don't find out about who I am. I'm already on my throne. I'm already on my chair. I've already got my scepter, and my crown is already on. I've been aligned since the day I was born, and your curses and your hexes and your stories and your fabrications and your lies and your manipulations and your thefts and your frauds and all your stories and your thousands and thousands of lies on my life. You ain't going to do anything to my destiny. I'm going to get up again and again and again and again. You have no say on my life. Your pen hath not writ. My pen hath writ. My pen is universal. My pen is multiversal because I don't fit in your box doors, and that brings you threat. Why does it bring you threat? Because you're not healed. Because you have chosen not to be of all as well. You've chosen to be in your box store, and you don't know what to do with that because your box store is fallen now. All you have to do is surrender to Source Creator and forgive. That's all you have to do. Your walls are falling, the ceilings are coming down, and your box stores are coming down. Because it's the light. The light is showing you there is allness. There is balance. You're not in balance. Do you want to be in balance? Yes or no? If you're not bringing your body light, your body cannot manifest. What does that mean? It means entropy. If there's no light in your body, you will manifest disease. You cannot have another incarnation of a dark body that has no light in it and no spiritual connection. For your body, for your matter body to exist, it needs a spiritual connection. It needs the light. It needs the chakras. It needs the higher self. It needs the aura. It needs connection to the grids of the planet. These are truths. These are truths. You need your spiritual body to connect to your planet. That's why it's in your blueprint. Your blueprint consists of who you are in the heavens, all the timelines, all the realms, all the bodies, all the experiences, all that you are up to 13 dimensions. Your collective that you belong with. What does the collective need? That the gifts and skills of who you are as you awaken, you become more light, you honor more light, you integrate more light, you become a soul-infused being. You become a fully infused, balanced, divine feminine, divine masculine being of light. You now remember your other lifetimes. You remember your gifts and skills. You're activated from your DNA. Your DNA activates your gifts and skills. You now have something to offer forward to the creative. Have I gotten anything from outside of anybody? Have I stolen? Have I taken? Have I raped? Have I destiny swapped? You've done it all within. And you have the activation of your multidimensional spiritual body that is also connected to Gaia. Your spiritual body is the heavens. Your spiritual body is connected to the collective. Your spiritual body is connected to Gaia. Called your sacred trinity. You must have a spiritual body. You must have a spiritual body. You must have a spiritual body to connect with all that is. To connect with all your timelines, all your soul fragments, divine feminine, divine masculine, all of your intelligences, all of the dimensions, you have to have a spiritual body. Otherwise, you will only be able to incarnate in the very darkest, lowest of realms. And you may not be able to manifest a form. How could you? There's no light there. It's just darkness, you entropy. That's what you chose. These are very basic rules, spirit and people. They're very basic. Your spiritual beliefs don't have any say over a spiritual process of your incarnations. Doesn't have any belief. Your stored beliefs don't have anything to do with your spiritual progression. It doesn't. Just being an atheist doesn't have anything to do with what your spirit needs and your soul is to its evolution. If you choose not to believe in anything, don't believe in anything, that's fine. It still doesn't change that your soul has to progress. If you don't have a consciousness of 5D, you will never have a 5D consciousness. You will never be in 5D, ever. There's no 3D timeline, so where are you going to go? What are you going to do? Your spirit and your soul, because this is what happens, and this is how sometimes you see in my videos, I have to transfer souls back to source. Why? Because there's a lot of people from those soul experiences, they've been taken out very quickly, that wasn't their choice, their spirit wasn't ready for it, and they get lost between realms. Another one is atheists and those that don't believe in source, they don't believe in God, so that when they do die, if it is very short and if it is very quick, they're also lost in between realms because they don't believe in source. They don't believe in God, they don't believe in heaven, they don't believe in anything. They get trapped between realms. Then somebody like me and Anubis come along and we have to transfer those energies back to source. It's all spirit. Your spiritual body is forever. What are you doing with it? I speak truth to your lighted ones. I'm putting it on the table for you. My channel has been suppressed. And you're telling me there's no corruption out there. So we go back to one more time. Put it on the table. This is the last thing we will say, and then we're going to go to open messages. If your collective and your leaders and your church people and your satanic rulers and the people in the shadow government and all of your and even YouTube corruption. And haven't you seen the ads on YouTube lately is having a tough time? Karma, karma, karma. You don't live in truth and you don't live in light. What do you think is going to happen? We're moving up in light of the planet. The planet's not going to stop in light. You can choose to stop in light. So why are you asking questions about why are things happening to you? Well, there's happening to you because time you got karma. This planet's not going to stop evolving because you don't want to believe and you don't want to heal. Those are your beliefs. So do something about it. Choose to heal. The planet's still going to evolve. We're still going to evolve. That's my birthright. I'm still going to evolve. I'm still going to evolve. I will never stop evolving. I will never stop being me. That's my destiny. Nobody owns it, as you've all found out. Wouldn't it have been better just to leave me alone? Because now you're all going through karma you will never get out of. But as we said, wouldn't you just heal? Wouldn't that be easier? No, you just wanted to keep attacking me, keep hating me. Okay, so where's that? Is that your compass? Now what? Again, we're saying the same things, people. Draw the lines for yourself. Does that sound intelligent? Draw the lines for yourself. I'm asking these things because I want you to get there yourself. I want you to sit down and work with Source. Is what I'm doing of the highest intelligence? Work it out yourself. Or are you going to wait for your cult and coven leader to say, hey, well, I guess, it's time for you to be sacrificed now because, that's kind of the way it goes when you're in a cult or coven. And if you're not going to go out there and kill anybody else, well, I guess we got to take you. This is the intelligence of cults and covens. Not all of them. The ones that are bringing the planet down, the ones that are imbalancing our entire collective, that is the imbalance. It's hate. It's absolute separation from spirit. There's absolutely zero intelligence. There's zero care. There's zero understanding. There's zero compassion. There's zero love. There's zero godliness. And they play in fake churches. This is the truth. So what are you going to do with it? I'm laying it on the table for you because you won't. That's my job. So those that get stuck between realms, sometimes I come on and in these videos, Anubis said there's souls that need to be worked through. So I help the souls move to the other side, back to Source. Because they wait for light beings like me. They can see a light being and they can say, hey, can you show me where the light is? I'm kind of caught out here in nowhere land. And we help these beings back to Source Creator, back to light. And then Source, it's up to Source and their soul's family to decide what are they going to do in their next incarnation. They have to still look at their karma. They have to still look at their choices. They have to still look at their life in a whole. Why did they do what they do? Why did they believe? Did they stand up for themselves? Did they speak their spiritual voice? Did they do all the things that they promised to do as they were born into the planet? It's a very sacred contract of being a spiritual being. But nowhere in our collective is it taught out there because it's been suppressed and the leaders have thought they've known best as they walk you off the cliff. Or the ship is sinking. You choose. How is your elite cloutism there? Is that all powerful now? Are you going to initiate to be something else now? Are you going to put your hand up for the next one? That's seriously. You need to look at it this blatantly because this is how do unto others it's not. And why none of this will ever be ranked. It is something very dark. It is something very barbaric that has to be looked at. We are at the gates, dear lighted ones. It has to be faced. My story of the discriminations, my stories of exactly what happened to Jesus. I was crucified how many times by all of these systems? I should not have survived, but God said, yes, you are. I'm important to the overall of all creation, not just planet Earth and humanity. I'm important on other planets and other galaxies and other things that are going on. But this is the lowest planet in the galaxy, and it's important that the lowest planet be brought up because of the cascading effect. And we need powerful light bringers here right now to do it, to break through the densities, to say, hey, we're going forward no matter what. And I'm going to bring as many through the gates as that want to be, through free will. And it's up to each and every person to go in and have that relationship and that alignment with Source Creator. Because there's nothing more important. I can't do that for you. No light worker can, no cult worker can, no witch or warlock can. You have to do the work to reconnect with Source. You have to do the work to recombine light back into your body, back into your senses that you've said doesn't exist. If you're an atheist and you've been doing all these satanic or Luciferian things, you've got to go back in and you've got to reconnect your light body that you chose to disconnect. You have to reconnect the spirit. And you do that by spiritual practices, meditation, breath, intention, everything that I've taught from day one. 800 videos, go back and start again. That's why you have to sit where you sit and learn the lessons. Look at your karma as your savior. Your karma is saving you. Your karma is going to show you, you may get into a 5D dimension if you do the work. If you work with spirit, if you work with light, if you recombine light, you may get into a fifth dimensional body. But you have to understand 5D consciousness. 5D consciousness is not 3D. Linear, past, present, and future. It ain't 3D. You got to get there. You're not just going to be given a free ticket. Oh, here you go. Here's your 5D ticket. And you get there and you're like, oh man, what's going on? I don't know what's going on, man. You're all in psychosis. You go brain dead. These are real things, people. 5D is not 3D. 5D is manifesting from thought. If you're sitting in a chair and you look at your toes and say, wow, I don't like my toes, and all of a sudden your toes disappear. That's what 5D is like. Are we getting it? And why it's so important that we understand balance, and why it's so important we understand our bodies, and why it's so important we love our bodies, and why it's so important we know that spirit is our bodies, and why we understand it's a spiritual experience and spiritual journey. It's very important, dear lighted ones. The do unto others was a very basic rule and law everybody on the planet was taught. And if you cannot get that, and you are out sacrificing and doing everything in the undergrounds that's being done in the communities right now, if the judges and the police and the warped masons and the secret societies and the stalking and the ones in the parking lot and the ones spied and the fake cameras in the homes and all of the exploitation and the RICO and the frauds and all of the withholding of mail, if all of these things are done just on me, and I was an example just as Jesus was, on much more troubling, on much more confusing, on much more intricately webbed, global, organized hate crimes where the internet is involved, where global children are involved, where import-export are involved, and there's much more things to get at because there's much more ways that people can hide. And much more people got their hands in it, and much more people are saying, that's not really a crime. We're going to put somebody innocent in jail. 52,000 on the North American continent. And you tell me that each and every one of you are ready to go into 5D and you have earned your way to light. This is why you must earn your way to only be initiated by your higher self and God. Because how you've been initiating on earth is nothing but the lowest of the most darkest, of the most abhorrent, masochistic, sadistic initiations that is nothing but hell. It is a human hunting hell machine. And you exploit it on the black web. And you get paid for exploiting it. So it's even a lower version of hell. Not only do you take people out and harm them, but you videotape it and then get paid for it. And we're asking you, when the windows and doors are closed, none of you will be getting another chance at do unto others. Because you haven't even got that in your daily life. You don't have it with your body. You don't have it with the sun or the moon. You don't care about the oceans or the air. There is a disconnect. And therefore, thus then, the body will not be gifted, and your incarnations will cease. This is truth. The planets that operate above us, fifth dimensional and higher, Pleiades, Sirius, Andromedas, Arcturus, all of these planets in our galaxy, they are 5-dimensional and above. There are a few in a little bit lower of a dimension. And it's up to you and your soul to absolutely go to the karma board and see if you could ever have another body to incarnate in this one universe. And it's up to God to sort out about the energies. But if this is how you behave, and beating and stoning women, and massacring bodies, and cannibalism, and sadism, and all of the horrible things that have been done on this planet that aren't even talked about, that go on every day, and the tormenting and the suffering and the suicide and the squid videos and the snuff videos and the horrible things in the black web that you all think is just such a game to you, and there's $1 billion business involved in it. And then they pay people like YouTube to silence channels like mine that only bring the truth out. That's all I'm doing, is bringing the truth out. You got to face it. We cannot move into 5D. We cannot move any farther until we face what's gone on in 3D. 3D has to be resolved. You have to resolve 3D before the gates open. Are any of you doing the daily work to sit and redeem your soul, your spiritual body? Are you having a relationship with your spiritual body? Are you having a relationship with your soul? Are you having a relationship with the heavens and the moon and the stars and the sun that hold you? that allow us to have gravity and rotate in certain arenas. This is what disconnection does to you. It makes everything outside of you absolutely unimportant, and you walk around wanting to hurt and maim people because you're not healed. That's the danger of disconnection. As I've said, everything on this planet is able to be healed with reconnection of planet and our spirit. Everything is healable. What do you choose? Do you choose spirit and do you choose source creator? Do you choose God? It is not a religion. It is our spiritual, universal birthright. That's what God is. It's not a religion. God is our universal birthright in all dimensions, in all forms, in all species, in all nature, in all lands, and that's why nature has a song, because God's in it. God is the quantum reality. God is the void. God is the black hole. God is all things. God is not a religion. God are the beliefs within religion that you chose to believe and get in a store and put some clothes on and practice in a certain way. That's okay. But we're now ready to transcend. God is all that is. God is the spiritual body. God is the sacred geometry. God is the fire letters. God is alchemy. God is the divine feminine and the divine masculine. It must be. There cannot be alchemy without it. There cannot be evolution without it. Are we seeing the basics of where we're going, dear lighted ones? This is intelligence. Are you on board? Yes or no? There's not going to be another 100 years where we're talking about the same thing. It won't be. This is it. This is the last day to get the very basics of do unto others. This is it. The doors and the windows are now closed. Are you going to get on board or not? The soul's progression and the soul's evolution is key, don't you think? It would be important that you bring it into your daily life and start operating in a spiritual way, however that is for you. Bring God and source creator, all that is sacred geometry, all that is light, all that is breath, all that is intention, all that is connecting with life again. Connect with life again. Connect with the importance of life. Connect with the importance of your body. Connect with the importance of feeling good. Connect with the importance of celebrating life. Connect with the importance of knowing that we can turn anything around that we have created. In the disconnection, we can reconnect and we can build bridges. Is that not something important to all of you? These are important questions for humanity. We are evolving in this one episode today. I want you to evolve. Are you a soulful being? Yes or no? Do you belong on all universes and all dimensions and all threads of dimensions and all species and all life and all nature and all wildlife? Yes or no? Source creator is all that is, dear lighted ones. Source creator is all science. Source creator is everything within you. You never have to get anything outside of you. Source is love. Bring some love into your life every day, dear lighted ones. My story was a discrimination story, and I've learned a lot because I can. I was the only one that was able to do what I did to help humanity. It is 100% possible within a breath that these things never have to happen ever again. Leaders of every country, you are here to build bridges of health and healing and lift your people up so they are healed and loved and food and a safe home every day. That should be a leader's wish and prayer every night. I wish my people to have food and homes and safety for all children. Do the leaders not say these prayers at nighttime for their people, for their lands? Why not? Humanity, do unto others. It's not a religious thing. It is basic common quantum knowledge for you to ever evolve beyond low vibrational 3D. Can you do this? Do unto others. The corruption will be absolutely pulled out. And if you have been a part of it, if I were you, I would have a discussion with your guides and your teams and God and start redeeming your soul now. Start making right, start forgiving, start connecting with Source Creator. There's no fear in any of this. These are just the basic truths of quantum soul creation. For your soul to evolve, you must integrate and you must incorporate and you must connect with light. If there is no light, your body cannot move forward. It is that easy. The truths of your soul's evolution is very, very simple. Will you progress and will you heal with Source Creator into the 5th dimension, yes or no? How important is Source to you? Source is not a religion. Source is all life that is blessed you and breath to you. Speak to Source and see what happens. You will be moved. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, delighted ones. Thank you, delighted ones. I love talking about Source. I get so excited talking about Source. It's called divine relationship, delighted ones. Because you belong in fields and you have light, and anything can activate you. Your DNA, DNA can get activated. DNA can get activated. And your brain becomes smarter because you're smarter. Doesn't that feel good, delighted ones? We're going to do a quick little light language, quick little healing here. Thank you, Holy Spirit. 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 Everything can be healed, delighted ones. Let's get busy. Is there a message out there? Is there a question from the collective that we'd like to talk about? Commander Ashtar, Mother, Father, God. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you. And release all negative energies. Sweep up, sweep up, sweep up, and call in light. I call in light. I call in light. I breathe in light. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for allowing me this beautiful experience of knowing myself as Source, as loving myself as Source. I love you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. My cells are light, my cells are spirit. My bones are light, my bones are spirit. I am light, I am spirit. My voice is spirit, I am love. I am love, I am love. Mother, Father in me. Mother, Father in me. Divine, feminine, masculine. I am one, I am one. I am one, I am one. Ishe makai tike tike mai tike she mama a tike she namakada tike te namakata ke she namaka ela makada tike nanaka ela manakada tike namakada tike nana e she namakada raga. We have healing systems for all of humanity. They're very simple, loving, celebratory, joyful healing systems and practices for all of humanity. It doesn't matter where you sit in your beliefs. We have things that can heal you. Every morning, tune in. And we will allow you some breath exercises and recombination with Source and recombination with your spirit guides, recombination with light and fun and joy. Celebrate, dear lighted ones. Intend every day. I surrender to my highest timeline. Say it now out loud. I surrender to my highest timeline. I surrender to my highest timeline. I trust my higher self. I trust my soul. I trust my spirit. I surrender to my highest timeline. I surrender to my highest timeline. Thank you, Holy Spirit. One question. I'm going to get out to see the people and to work with the people and to heal the people. Yes, I will. 2026, I will be out visiting all over the world. I cannot wait to meet all of you. The indigenous will come forward and speak through me all the time. Each of our tribes are indigenous. We wish you a very, very blessed day. Those of you that would like to make a donation for me to fix and rebuild my life, it's paypal.me, and also to book a session, healing, activation, or otherwise for your ascension, it's paypal.me/Joanna L. Ross. If you put that in and then make a donation or 150 US, then it will get you to whatever session you want. Whether it's a vocational alignment session, whether it's to help activate your work, it doesn't matter what it is. That's you can get a session for that. And if you're having any trouble with addictions or healing anything, then just book a session with me, because it's usually just something to do with energy that we just need to clear. And just working on acceptance. The 3 A's of alchemy, that's how you heal every day. 3 A's of alchemy, right? And then work with your journal every day. Work with your guides, work with spirit every day. Call spirit in every day. Call spirit in every day. Before you have to make a big choice, call spirit in. Spirit, what is the highest and the best for my choice, for my highest and my best timeline? What's the highest choice for me right now for my highest timeline? Ask yourself that. Don't rely on old karmic patterns. Old karmic patterns will bring you back to old karmic timelines. What is my highest timeline? What's my highest and my best choice? Very simple. Start having a relationship. Every word, every day, every choice with Source. Every choice with Source. Every choice with Source. And Source will work with you equal measure. Get in the elevator and push the button. We want to start having higher intelligent beliefs in our collective, because the church and state is not higher intelligent beliefs. We're going to work together. Church and state, we're going to work together. Church and state, we're going to work together, and we're going to bring everything up to 5D. We're going to do it the Sacred Trinity way, though. We're not going to have a bunch of third wheel middlemen that are going to take the money away from the people. Okay, we're going to work the Sacred Trinity way. We're not going to compromise on this. We're going to move to 5D, people, and we can work together. Are you in or are you not? So choose. Choose overnight with Source Creator. Place your hand on your divine sacred heart and choose with Source. I choose to align with light. I choose my highest timeline. Intention is everything to where you're going, how simple and clear your life can be. Clarity is everything. If it's confusing, let it go. Clarity is everything. It's very simple. Who am I? I choose my highest timeline. Is it warm? Is it healing? Is it honoring? Is it beautiful? Is it sacred? Is it uplifting? Is it celebratory? Is it joyful? Is it healing? Everything should be healing for the next 2026. Get our bodies back into light. Get our bodies back moving in the momentum of light. Okay? Start working with your higher self. Start working with your light body. Start working with your spiritual body. You are a spiritual being on a spiritual journey. We love you. PayPal.me/Joanna L. Ross. That's who I am. I'm also Celeste, the Galactic Princess. We love you, delighted ones. We love you. I love you. Hope everybody has a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.